US Highway 322. Yeah! Alright. US Highway 322 is from Atlantic City through Cleveland, Ohio. It goes to good towns. We go near the Philadelphia area, Atlantic City, Glassboro, that's what I say. Downingtown, New Holland, Harrisburg, State College, Phillipsburg, Clearfield, Du Bois, Brookville, Franklin, Meadville, and then we get Cleveland. US 322 and US 40 both start in Atlantic City, because we do get a mention for US 40 and 322. Here's Pleasantville. You get US Highway 9 mentioned in Pleasantville. Some days I'll do US Highway 9, because I hope I don't mess up on US Highway 9. Now we're just going to lose US Highway 40. It's time for Mays Landing. Wow. We should get something else for US 40. Because US Highway 322 will just head into Chester, Pennsylvania. Well, I wish Cordy Munch 437 tries to react to my US Highway 322 video, if he liked it or not. Here we are in Glassboro, because we're going to be on New Jersey Highway 47. We have no mention for New Jersey Turnpike. We do get a mention for Interstate 295. It is signed for nothing. Where is the sign for Interstate 295? Oh, never mind. Interstate 295 will just go into Wilmington, Delaware, and Trent, New Jersey. We do get a mention for US Highway 130 for Penns Grove and Camden, and we're signed for Pennsylvania. Now we're just going to cross that river over there. So we'll be heading into Pennsylvania. You can see Philadelphia somewhere. And look, there's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You can see it right there. Here we are in Pennsylvania. We do get a mention for US Highway 13. For Chester, nothing ever changed for US Highway 13. It'll come out on August 3rd. So, good. Nothing will never happen on my new US Highway 322 video. I'm going to do it the right way, in the correct way. We get Interstate 95 northbound signed for Philadelphia, which is awesome. So we're joining 95 southbound with US Highway 322 for Wilmington, Delaware. We do get a mention for Interstate 476. We're saying goodbye to Interstate 95 southbound for Wilmington, and we're signed for West Chester for US Highway 322 westbound. In Concordville, we're meeting US Highway 1. I know US 1 and US 322 gets congruent. No, concurrent, not congruent. Concurrent. I'm not going to say congruent ever again. I'm going to say concurrent. That's what I was supposed to say. So we get US 202 is about to join US Highway 322. So while US 1 is splitting off with US 322. So US 322 is going to be concurrent with US 202. for West Chester for 6 miles. Wilmington, Delaware, 9 miles. Kent Square for 10 miles for US Highway 1. Now we're going to be losing US Highway 202, so US 322 heading into Downingtown. So we get a mention for US 30. We get US Highway 30. That will take you also to Philadelphia as well. And US 30 can take you into Chambersburg. Because US 30 is just a long way for Atlantic City through Oregon or Washington. I don't know. Let's check. I correct myself. It's Oregon. Astoria, Oregon. That's where US 30 westbound will end. Eastbound will just begin. Oh yeah, US 30 eastbound begins in US 30 eastbound begins in Astoria, Oregon through Atlantic City, New Jersey. Westbound begins in Atlantic City, New Jersey from Astoria, Oregon. So let's continue our US Highway 322 video right now. Here's US 222 signed for Reading and Lancaster. We get no interchange with Interstate 76. US 322 is signed for Harrisburg, which it's still awesome. We get a mention for Interstate 76 for the airport. Interstate 283. Interstate 83 is signed for Harrisburg. For southbound, northbound is signed for State College with US Highway 322. We get a mention for Interstate 81, signed for Carlisle's. I don't like that choice. This should have been Hagerstown. Or you can put something like Roanoke or Hagerstown or Martinsburg. Whatever, it's your choice. Now we're going to join Interstate 83. It says we get a mention for Interstate 81. We get US Highway 22. We get Interstate 81, signed for Hazleton. Oh, come on. You should put Scranton or Syracuse or Binghamton, not just Hazleton, which I don't like. And then we get a mention for Interstate 78, signed for Allentown. No, this should have been New York. And we get US Highway 322, signed for State College. Yeah, how bad this is for Interstate 81 southbound. This should not be Carlisle's. This should have been Hagerstown or Roanoke. Either choice is fine, not Carlisle's. Now we're going to lose Interstate 81, just signed for Carlisle's. Come on, this should have been Hagerstown or Roanoke. And we do get a mention for US Highway 22 eastbound for Harrisburg. We're just going to join US 22 westbound for State College, so we're going to have a little concurrency with US Highway 22 and 322. We get US Highway 11 and 15, signed for Camp Hill, Selinsgrove, and Williamsport. Now we're losing US 22 and 522, both signed for Mount Union, and we're signed for State College. We get Interstate 99 and US Highway 220 for Bellefontaine. We get a mention for Interstate 80 also. Now we're just going to join US Highway 220 and Interstate 99 southbound for Altoona. We're losing US 220 and Interstate 99. They are signed for Port Matilda and Altoona. And we're signed for Phillipsburg for US 322, westbound. In Luthersburg, we're joining US Highway 219. Now we're losing US Highway 219. It'll go into Du Bois. Here's our old friend, is US 119. It'll end in US Highway 219 in Du Bois. We get Interstate 80 signed for Sharon and Du Bois. This should have been Youngstown for Interstate 80 or Cleveland. In Franklin, Pennsylvania, we're joining US Highway 62. I will do that US Highway 62 some days, because it's an awesome US highway. From El Paso through Niagara Falls for US Highway 62. And I know that US highway. Now we're losing US Highway 62. So US 322 is turning right. In Meadville, we're meeting US 19 and US 6. US 19 is a really fun US highway from Florida through Erie. US 6 is a really fun US highway. It is a long US highway through Provincetown, Massachusetts from Bishop, California. Here's Interstate 79, signed for Pittsburgh and Erie. Now we're going to lose US Highway 19. Now we're losing US Highway 6, so US 322 is turning left. We get no welcome sign for Ohio. We get Interstate 271 signed for Cleveland and Erie. And 271 South signed for Columbus. Now we're joining US Highway 20. Now we're going to lose US Highway 20. So 322 is turning right. Because we're in downtown Cleveland. We get Interstate 90 East. This should have been Erie or Buffalo, New York. 90 West will take you to Interstate 71 and 77. Because Interstate 90 will just head into Chicago with Interstate 80 and then make their split off in Indiana. Now we're going to join US Highway 6 for one last time. And yes, indeed, US 322 ends. So that's all for today, folks, for US Highway 322. And you can check out my Tennessee ranking, how bad is US 11 and 58 and 72. Bad signage for US 11 and 58 and 72 in Tennessee. Really bad. So, peace out.